Abu, the flute maker, but that's like a generic term because I don't just make flutes. I make all types of musical instruments out of any and everything that makes noise. And the drums I just got through playing are called thunder drums. And I made these drums out of porch columns. They were the pillars holding the roof up on the front porch. But they were badly beat up and damaged, and the landlord was taking them down and throwing them away. I said, can I have them? He gave them to me. I painted them up and put drum hardware on them, and I call them my thunder drums. I made my first drums when I was 4 years old. That's when I first saw a parade coming down the street, and I got so excited. I ran in the house and I grabbed the oatmeal box and 2 pencils. I had so much fun playing that oatmeal box that every time I heard some music, I would look around for something to play and bang on it. Anyway, over the years, I've made thousands of flutes. I got flutes all around the world. I guess you look up in there, you'll see the flutes at all. But I got flutes all around the world, and I got the name of the Flutemaker. But I didn't limit myself just to making flutes, because after making so many instruments and tuning them, my ears became so sensitive to sound that noise isn't noise to me anymore. When something fall or break or slam, even when people are talking, I hear musical notes. And my first saxophone sounding musical instrument is an instrument that I made from my grandmother's bedpost. It was a broken down bed, they were throwing it away, and I noticed this long bedpost, and after making so many flutes, curiosity got the best of me. I said, what would happen if I put some holes in this bedpost? I wonder what it would sound like. Anyway, that's what I did, and I was amazed at the sound because it sounded like a saxophone to me. So I said, wow, I got a bedpost sounding like a saxophone. Now, what am I going to name this instrument? So I said, since it's a bedpost that wants to be a saxophone, I think I'll call it a bed-poster-phone. Let me hear you say bed-poster-phone. Bed-poster-phone. Very good, I'm going to play it for you. The bed-poster-phone, from time to time on the weekends, work in the club with this jazz band. The name of the group, Abu and the Jump Busters. And when I'm working with the Jump Busters, I break the bedpost in half like this. instrument. You have to make me the bed poster phone, and being surprised at the fact that I could get like a brassy type sound out of wood. I made a clarinet from a wooden chair leg that I hollowed out. And I made a clarinet from a little bedside stand table lamp. But I don't call my instrument a clarinet. I put my name on it, I call it a claraboo. Let me hear you say claraboo. Claraboo. Thank you. I'm so used to working with young people. Bear with me. Let me get it. This is the instrument here. Now the bell on this instrument comes from a bicycle horn, the kind with the large black rubber ball that you squeeze. And I took the bubble portion off and I inserted the bell up into a table lamp and got a Phillips screwdriver real hot and burned holes in it. Don't try this at home. Anyway, I found an alto saxophone mouthpiece that was cracked. I just taped it up and wired it on. And if a table lamp was to be a clarinet, this is what it would sound like. The next instrument that I want to introduce you to is a piece I refer to it as the cheapest saxophone in the world, because all I paid for the material to make it was $2. And I'll let you hear a little bit of it before I show it to you. Maybe your imagination can tell you what I made it out of. $2 funnel. Did you get a standard autos? And, made of plastic, and I have a alto mouthpiece on the end. I just drill some holes into the funnel. And for the kids that want to get in the parade with a horn and their parents can't afford those $100 horns, you get $2 to buy a $10 mouthpiece from TS Music. This instrument over here to my right, I call it the first bass harp. And I got the idea years ago from watching TV. I saw this show, Red Fox, Fred Sanford and Son. And he had a tin tub on the floor turned upside down with a bone handle attached to the side and one string coming up out of the center. And he was playing this thing, a boom, 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 boom. I said, wow, that sounds like a real bass. I can make one of them. So I went to the hardware store to get a tin tub and they didn't have one. And I saw this can, I said, well, give me that. And instead of using a broom handle, I used a 2x4 plank. And instead of one string, I put 12 strings on mine. And I tune it with turnbuckles, and I call it the first bass harp. One day we were moving, and one of my helpers tilted the dresser back too far, and the mirror fell off, and I heard the glass hit the steps and the pavement. Bang, 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 bang. And I said, wow, there's music in the glass. So instead of me getting upset because he broke the mirror, I grabbed the glass cutter, and I cut the glass up into bar shaped. I placed them on the track, and I made a xylophone out of the glass that I call a celestial phone. Let me hear you say celestial phone. Celestial phone. Very good. On the back of the mirror, I put Velcro to hold it on the track. And the track is made from styrofoam weather stripping, but they use to keep the cold air out. And I'm using a regular dowstick with 3 rubber bands wrapped around the end of the stick. Okay, the same idea. There's music in the toolbox. So, put your father's tools back when you finish. You don't have to worry about breaking them, okay? All right. They tore this big house down across the street from where I live, and they left the pieces of floorboard sticking up, very much like the wood that's on the floor here. And I grabbed the arm load of the pieces of wood and carried it into my workshop, and I cut off the sharp edges and tuned them, and I made a marimba, which is a wooden xylophone out of the pieces of floorboard. Okay, let me hear you say kalimba. Let me hear you say ambira. Very good. Kalimba, ambira, we're talking about the same African musical instrument. It's a box with some keys on it. You play it by plucking with your fingers and your thumb. It's referred to a lot of times as the thumb piano. Well, about 14 years ago, before some of you were born, I found this pretty piece of wood by the dumpster. And I hate to see a nice piece of wood go to waste. I carried it in my shop and I made this bass kalimba. Now keep in mind, I had it for quite a few years, and it's been played in several schools, libraries, YMCAs, and a lot of young people have been banging on it. It's almost tore up, but you can probably still appreciate the sound. Let me get it. Now the playing keys on this instrument is strapping steel, like what the lumbermen use on their truck to bang the lumber down. And they snapped the steel and they left a long strip on the ground, and I just picked it up and cut it into little keys and placed it over the box. And you can play with sticks. I carried the same idea over to this trash can. Okay. This trash can, well, I had this trash can 17 years, and when I first bought it, it was a brand new shiny can, and I bought it for the purpose of making this instrument so it never seen any trash or garbage. But I thought I'd say that because one time I played it in the hospital and I told them it was made out of a trash can. They grabbed it goes right away. I have one that I recently made out of a dresser drawer. And this one you can wear, you can stand up to play it, put it on you, wrap it around you, and just like that. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing one around my neck. And this one is made out of a sardine can. The sardine can, what I use for playing keys are bobby pins. So I have the bobby pins slipped underneath a nail on the sardine can on a piece of plywood. This is what it sounds like. contact the Guinness Book of World Records because you probably have the world's smallest as well as the world's largest dilemma, because after making this one, I found this large FedEx crate that they left in the alley, and they must have shipped a refrigerator in it or an air conditioning unit. Anyway, I took the big box, cut it down, and on the ground beside the box, where I really didn't have to go far for the keys, was this large strip of strapping steel that they had the box banded together with. So I used the strapping steel for the keys, and I made the world's largest Mbira. Let me get it. This is a contrabass Mbira. I call this a tin horn. Years ago when I was in the Air Force stationed in Texas, they told me that a tin horn was an inexperienced cowboy, somebody new on the job messing up. So I found out later that this is a tin horn, and a tin horn is a variety of different types and sizes of cans, and they put together in like a telescopic fashion. And I know. But if you have to know, on here I have a gas valve bottle, tomato paste can, orange juice can, bean can, chicken noodle soup can, pineapple can, sweet potato can, African can, American can, Puerto Rican can. It takes a lot of cans to make a tin horn. And aside from the cans, I have this half-inch poly tubing. Now you can get this poly tubing at any hardware store or anywhere that sells equipment for your aquarium. Now, at the end of the half-inch poly tubing is a regular trumpet mouthpiece. Now, if you just had the trumpet mouthpiece in the tubing, you would still have a sort of a horn. Listen. Anyone know what I made these drums out of? What do you say? I wish I could say yes to watermelon. No, not watermelon. I painted them like that so I could trick you. Let me hold them like this. Somebody said, you're right, army hats, he's right. These are army helmet drums, okay? Once I found out that you could soak the skin in cold water for 4 hours, it gets soft and flimsy like a t-shirt. You punch your holes in it, tie it down while it's soft, it dries hard, and you have a nice little drum. You can paint watermelons on the lens or whatever. And I'm playing them with a regular down stick with a jack ball on the end. Let me hear you say shakuhachi. Shakuhachi. Yeah, that's a Japanese word. Let's say it again. Shakuhachi. Shakuhachi. Well, I make an abu shakuhachi flute. Let me get it. All of these. That's what they look like. And these are like the largest shakuhachi flutes in the world. I've been making these flutes for 33 years. I have made thousands of them. They're all around the world. And people use them as medicine sticks. They use them for relieving stress. If you have a headache and you play one of these flutes, one of these long, deep flutes, the vibration will shake anything that's clogged in your vessels. I can guarantee you. It has a very soothing sound. They're made out of bamboo, by the way, and bamboo is big grass. It's the fastest growing plant on earth. Nothing grows faster than bamboo. Let me get you. This is what the flutes look like before I burnt the different designs on them with a blowtorch and stained them and varnished them and all of that. But this is bamboo. It's the fastest growing plant on earth. Nothing grows faster than bamboo. And when it's growing out of the ground, it's green like grass. Then it dies, it dries, it cures in the sun to this color. And I made it like this. And these burning marks is like my signature to let people know that they got an abu flute, okay? Now, as I mentioned, it has 5 playing holes, 4 in the front and 1 in the back. It plays the pentatonic scale. That's like the black keys on a piano. And it has like a low, mellow type haunting sound. Anyone know what I made these drums out of? Wait a minute. Thought I heard somebody say it. What? Yeah. Okay, you want to be more specific? You're right. You're right. What do you think? What do you think? Right. Coffee cans. You use coffee cans or any cans the size of a coffee can would do, as long as the top and bottom is out of it. You use paint cans or the cans that they throw away in the cafeteria. But these are the drums that I have young people be making on Saturdays throughout the summer. We had musical craft workshops, and they were making their own little drums and decorating them. Now, these colors on here that looks like paint really isn't paint at all. I have 22 different colors of duct tape, and that's what they use to decorate their drums with, is duct tape. The heads on these drums is rubber from car-tie inner tube, okay? It's inner tube rubber. And they're clamped down with 12-gauge electrical wire. All right? And I'll tell you today, like I tell them in my workshop, you can make a musical instrument out of anything that makes noise. It's just a matter of knowing how to tune it, what to strike it with, or where to split the air column. And with that information, a lot of times they challenge me and they bring things in. They say, can you make an instrument out of this? Can you make an instrument out of that? Well, about 9 years ago, a guy brought me a country baseball bat, and now I have a baseball bat that wants to be a saxophone. Let me get it. I thought I don't even need a mic for this. I'm going to need some audience backup on this next instrument, so I want you to take your hands and give me this clap that sounds like this. This is a double barrel nose flute. And when I'm playing it in the schools, the whole front row says, ew! And I tell them, look, you don't have to worry about that ill stuff as long as you don't have a cold. The nose flute is very easy to play. All you have to do is put your nose over it and breathe. It goes right off. You can play it while you're eating, singing, talking, It's made out of bamboo also. I just took two pieces of bamboo and put them together. Now there is, I didn't invent the idea of a nose flute. They have nose flutes in South America. Now the nose flute that they have down there is one single cylindrical tube. It's not double barrel. It's one tube, and it has a hole. It's pretty much like the one that I have here, but instead of being two, it's one. And what they do when they play it is they close one nostril with their thumb. And I didn't like the way that looked, so I gave the other nostril something. I gave them the idea of a double barrel nose flute. I love the sound of a guitar and I didn't know how to play one. So years ago I found this beautiful dresser and I took the part of the drawer, the back, the sides of the dresser, and I used a plaque that I found, two pieces of molding stripping, a knob from a canopy bedpost, and one music wire, discarded drum skin, and I made an instrument that I call a bootar. Let me hear you say a bootar. A bootar is a one-string sitar, or a one-string guitar, if there's such a thing. Let me get it. This is the instrument. Oh my. The two pieces of wood I was squeezing is molding stripping that they use along the side of the baseboard of the floor. I have a discarded drum stand that I found on the bottom, one single string in the center, a knob from a canopy bed post on top of the decoration, and a pack that I found, and that's what I used to design the drum skin around. And it's a bouton, and when I squeeze it, it causes it to have the bending tone. This is the instrument here. I call it a 4. I call it a 4. It's very easy to make. Very easy to play. The reason why I call it a 4. Come and get it! Back in the West, what it's used for. It's a cowbell. A blowtorch. Make sure all the gas is out of it. This is bamboo again. This is the large stock of bamboo, and out of this is a Aussie drum. They put slits into the bamboo, one larger than the other, and they'll change the number. Okay, the Aussie drum. Anyone know what I made this clarinet out of? I think I heard somebody say it. A rolling pin. A rolling pin. So they call them a double roller, right? They make pizzas and biscuits and things like that. And when I was a little boy, they called them a husband chaser. That's what I said. Someone threw this beautiful clock away, and I saw it laying there, and I took it in the house, and I took it apart. I'm always trying to find a way to make things tick anyway. So I fixed the clock, put a battery in, and the clock was working. I saw it in my chair. I said, wow, this didn't just have to be a clock. I remember that in my basement, I had this broken guitar. So I went into the basement, and I took the neck off of the broken guitar and attached it to the clock. And now I have a clock guitar. Caught the devil in the phone booth, yeah, he was dialing 911. The church people on their knees, loading up a spiritual gun, yeah. Well, the Lord thought he had us, but the table had turned. They got him on the run. I caught him in the phone booth, dialing 911. say June, June. These are African June, June drums. And they're made out of steel burls. I cover them up with African mud cloth. And one day while I was moving, I broke a looking glass. Now I didn't want anybody to get cut, so I picked it up real fast. Each piece I placed upon my hand produced a different sound. I heard a little bit of music when that mirror hit the ground. So I cut each piece into a bar. I placed them on a track. Looked like I made myself a xylophone from a mirror that was cracked. All praise be to God was all that I could say. Before I made myself something nice out of what was thrown away. Now the sound of a saxophone is what I love the most. I didn't have no money to buy one with, so I used Grandmama bedpost. Now the sound that it made was wonderful, so mellow and so clear. I made myself a clarinet out of a wooden chair. One day, a pile of tin cans was staring me in my face. But now they're part of a jazz band, from a horn down to a bass. I'll take anything that you throw away, from a dresser to a sardine can. And before you know it, I add something to it and make it part of my band. Alhamdulillah, all that I could say. Before I made myself something nice out of what was thrown away. Now the moral of my story is like the message in my song. Throw some love at Jimmy Alley and I see it, well it won't be trash for long. I'll take anything that you throw away, from a dresser to a sardine can. And before you know it, I add something to it and make it part of my band. All praise be to God, it's all that I could say. For see what my two hands have made out of what people threw away. Let me hear you say Abu. Abu. The name Abu means father. That's what that name means, father. That's an Arabic word, and that name was given to me about 30 years ago by a senior citizen in my neighborhood that I looked up to like as a big brother type of thing. So he said, since you like working with children, I'll give you the name Abu. You mean father? I didn't like it at first, but I had so much respect for this gentleman that I kept the name. And a name can really grow on you, because even today, people say, you act like you somebody's father. That's my funny So anyway, I would love for young people, I'm always interested in the follow-up stories on how they turn out in life, what have you. And I found out the other day that the twins that were separated by Dr. Carson, they are in the 11th grade now, and time really flies. And they mentioned the Jessamine sextuplets, they're doing fine, and they're in the 7th grade, you know. And, but you know, they never did a follow-up story on what I call it a treasure child. Let me hear you say treasure child. Treasure child. I call a treasure child, all children are treasures, but especially those that don't receive the type of love that they should be receiving. Those that's left on the steps, or left in the mall, or left somewhere, or by the dumpster, or what have you. So as a follow-up story to a treasure child, I wrote a poem. And my son told me that I should recite it for you here today. And the name of the poem is Treasure Child. The name of the poem is Treasure Child, right? It's Treasure Child. What I'm about to tell you may sound cold, but the story of the baby thrown away was never told. A mother threw a baby in the trash. She had no hope, strung out on dope. She didn't have no cash. Now the trash man carried the baby to the dump. Paper trash cans and bottles and a broken water pump. A passerby heard the baby cry. He knew he had to hurry or this baby just might die. So right away he found a telephone. He knew the right authority would find this child a home. The doctors say the baby was okay. The social workers came and quickly took the child away. They talked about it on the evening news, but no one came to stake their claim for a baby so abused. A couple showed up eager to adopt. The woman said, "I'll be his mother." The man said, "I'll be his pop." So let us sign the papers and be gone. I promise you the two of us will treat him as our own. For years we waited for a day like this. They wrapped him in a blanket. They both gave him a kiss. It would be nice if I could end this story there. But a follow-up on this baby's life is what I'm here to share. They placed him in a house all laced with lead, never knowing how the poison would affect this baby's head. As years went by, they showed it no concern. And when he entered into school, he found it hard to learn. And every time he failed, that's when they beat. On top of that, the fellow had that same grade to repeat. His self-esteem had fallen to a low. He felt so sad, he acted bad. To a shelter he would go. A shelter with a bed, 3 meals to eat, providing safety and security from harm out on the street. Now the people in the shelter showed him love, yes they did, and they told him there'd be many blessings coming from above. Just place your faith in God, to whom we trust. He's giving something special to each and every one of us, with words of hope that gave his heart a lift. It didn't take him very long to realize his many gifts. From broken objects people threw away, his imagination taught him how to make things he could play. The music that was once a pile of trash has been recycled into instruments he plays to earn some cash. The broken glass became a xylophone. Zodiac keychain whistled from a bamboo bougie bone. The pillows from the porch became his drum. A sardine can piano that he plays with both his thumbs. A bootar with the sound of bending tones. Bedpost bets, cheerleading lampposts, sounding just like saxophones. A pile of cans to him became his horn. And from the trash cans they were in, the first base harp was born. He takes his shows to schools both near and far. His instruments are in a trailer that he pulls along behind his car. His audience amazed at what they've seen. And every time they clap their hands, it raised my self-esteem. I'm delighted when I see the children smile, and hope that I'll inspire another little treasure child. Now I may not be a millionaire, that's true, but still I earn a living doing what I love to do. Now I know I've held your ears for quite a while, but I had to tell the story of the blessed treasure child. One man's junk is another man's treasure.